Okay, hopefully a quick video to put really the period on a lot of the videos that I've made. Um, you know, I started out this whole thing wanting to talk about the music of the Bay City Rollers, and it's all been side railed by drama on Facebook, and um, and that's okay. But I really don't care, right? And not only that, if I talk about it, it brings aggro my way anyway. And where I am in my life right now is that I'm actually taking a year to myself with no responsibilities, right? Which is why I'm so disheveled. But and enjoying life. And what some person says online doesn't matter to me. Um, but I did want to communicate in that video I made recently about the people that I work with and my experiences with them, right? But the other thing is that we're coming up to about a year now where I told two different groups of people to either shut up or make a video with evidence about, the stuff I've talked about too many times. There's no video. There's never going to be a video. We're getting into probably a few months now of talks about lawsuits. Okay, will they show up? I don't know. There's stuff being flown around online about evidence about certain things. Will that evidence ever turn up? I don't know. But my point is this: why are any of us wasting time with people that have never accomplished anything? There's a clear track record over the last year of innuendo, slander, libel, and everything else, and nothing's been accomplished. So something may be accomplished. I can't predict the future. I'm not Nostradamus. But my point is, wake us up when you accomplish something, and we will all applaud. I'm more happy outside of my channel now and doing the radio show. Why? Because I can't really play the Rollers music here. I'd love to go into detail with every single song. Now, I might reach out actually to Wings of Pegasus because he does use other videos in his videos, and maybe I could figure that out because I'd love to do what he does without getting copyright struck down. I'd love to go through the Roller World CD and play parts of that and play different parts of Woody's bass lines and Eric's solo and Duncan's songwriting and all this other stuff. So maybe I will move on to that. But my point is that is all productive work and that's achieving something. Like, for example, when I was told that I was wrong earlier on, I achieved something. Not as an expert. I achieved something by reading as much as I could and getting knowledge. That's achieving something. And then reporting back with the knowledge that I had. The girls this year have had two great guests on their radio show that were actually very important. And one was the person that was involved with the Eden recordings, explaining how the Rollers had actually just recorded the dedication album here in Canada and that they actually recorded it. And then they showed up and in Eden Studios, they had 10 days to recreate most of the record because the tapes weren't ready. Right? That is an incredible piece of information that has to be saved about the band if you're serious about this band. That's an achievement. But all this other stuff about there's going to be evidence and, you're wrong and there's going to be lawsuits, nothing's been achieved. So why do we waste our time with people that haven't achieved something? Talk to them when they achieve something. That's my thing. Because I'm living my life. And the other thing is, for myself personally, is that last night I had a great night learning a song by Metric. So I've got other bands that I'm trying to learn songwriting from, right? But it's just flowing so quickly now. It's like I just look at the chord chart and then it's like, boom, I can play it, right? And so I have so much that I can actually do, right? Instead of dealing with innuendo, who cares? Prove something and then maybe I'll pay attention. Until then, consider me a bear in hibernation about this stuff, right? Yeah, but the other thing is, like, I've got a year to myself, and also I've got the opportunity, which not everyone gets in their life, to completely change my career. Unfortunately, it's looking like artificial intelligence is the way it will go. But there's a lot of problems, and those who don't care can tune out now. But there's a lot of problems with AI. But the biggest problem with AI is that it uses GPUs, just like mining for Bitcoin uses GPUs. But the reason mining for Bitcoin uses GPUs is that GPUs are very expensive to run and eat up a ton of electricity. So the point is, if you want something to be rare, how do you make it rare if it's not something that actually exists on the planet? Well, you make it expensive to mine through everything through the Bitcoin. But it drives a tremendous amount of electricity. AI uses GPUs and very advanced GPUs in order to do the same thing, and it's actually eating up a tremendous amount of electricity in the United States. So anyway, yeah, like so there's CPUs. I think everyone knows what a CPU is. There's an FPU. That's the floating point unit. So that's where you have decimal based multiplication, complex stuff, and just math in general, right? It's a math coprocessor. And then GPUs, which are graphical processor units, right? But it just so happens that they fit in with AI. But anyway, it looks like I'll have to get into AI. But my point is, I have things that I actually have to achieve. And, I feel like a toddler when someone is just claiming things. Like, it's just like every day there's a new claim, there's a new claim, there's a new claim, but nothing is achieved. Just like being in kindergarten, right? And that makes me a kindergartner when I'm like, no, it isn't, no, it isn't, no, it isn't. Like, so I think we all have to kind of grow up a little bit. But the other thing that pissed me off was I was pissed off myself because typically I don't do reviews of something I don't like. But then I got pissed off enough the other night that I did that review. And I don't think that Woody deserves the review. And the band, I don't think they deserve that review. Just like the Bay City Rollers did not deserve a lot of the reviews they got for the Wouldn't You Like It album. And I've looked those up online and they were scathing and it's a joke, They didn't know what they were talking about, and there's a good chance I don't know what I'm talking about. But the point is, it starts to get into this little tit-for-tat type of thing. And once again, that's like kindergarten as well, right? So I don't get into that. But listen, I don't blame anyone for dragging me into that. Like I said in my video, no one throws that burden on me. It just happens that I see this stuff because it gets cross-posted. But that is dying down now because the longer it goes on, the more I agree that keep the stuff out of the Bay City Rollers army. If people want to be in a private group and just go on and on and on with hatred and hatred and hatred, that's their prerogative, I guess, unless they slander someone enough that they get sued. But even that is their prerogative. It's none of my business, right? And so people might say, well, Blaine, if it's none of your business, why did you even make the videos? Well, it's none of my business, so don't even post it on Facebook until you achieve something, right? How about that? Like, I don't need to know every thought that's going on in your mind about who you hate and who you think you have evidence on, and you do have the evidence or you don't have the evidence. It's a waste of my time. And it's a waste of everyone's time. And, I would hope that people would be mature enough that they could be like, okay, it's been a year about this. When are you going to provide something? Months are going on about this. When are you going to provide something? That's my feeling on it. So I don't have the time for it. Like, I'm in such a good place right now. Like, I have all the opportunity in the world, and I never thought that suddenly I would be able to pick up and look at a chord chart for any song and then suddenly be able to play it, right? It's going to change my life, and I'm going to head into retirement a much happier person because of it, because all I'll need is a little dog. I got 2 of them here right now. And an acoustic guitar, right? The days of needing bottles of Lafite. I don't need Lafite. A nice cold beer is good enough, right? So I'm in a happy place, and I found that I was in a bad mood, and I'm like, this doesn't even affect me. I don't even know these people. I was never in the band. All I tried to do was to create a good record of the band, and I'm going to continue trying to create a good record of the band. And I'm going to look into, maybe I'll just try it and see what happens, but I'm going to look into reviewing songs that are on YouTube, and I mean positive, no more of this, hey, I hate this song, but I mean positive reviews where I can go deep into what's happening in the songwriting and some of the music in the Bay City Rollers stuff. Like I prefer positive stuff like that, and it's an achievement to do that. But not only that, for me, it personally makes sense because I like to analyze all the chord changes in all of their songs and the melodies because I can learn from it, right? And other people can too. So in a way, I apologize, not just to Woody, but I mean to everyone for my scathing review, because you know what? Music critics are bad enough. You don't need people like me also going out there and getting angry and whatever. They have a challenge ahead of them. They have an album that they're working on, I've heard, and they don't need to be stressed out. They need to knock one out of the park, and it's very hard. And I know this from all the songs I've been learning. When the song is really good, it kind of, when you learn it on guitar, it knocks you off your seat a little bit. You're like, dang, like how did they come up with that, right? And it's magic. In the Rory, I'm really going on now, but bear with me. In the Rory Gallagher interview that I shared in the description of one of my videos recently, he was talking about songs and where they come from, and he made a gesture like this, and he, with his hand open, like he's pulling the song out. And I find that is the feeling when you're writing something. When something, the best songs are the ones that come together really quickly because they're very natural, but you don't feel. I think this is why a lot of the good songwriters, maybe they aren't pretentious. I'm not talking about composers, I'm talking about songwriters. Because it feels like you've just unlocked a puzzle. And that song was already there. And I think I talked to a friend, he's like, I don't write songs because it always sounds like they were already written. That's that feeling, right? You get this feeling like the song already existed, you just found it. And you can convince yourself that you must have stolen it from someone. And hey, maybe you did, I don't know, right? But that is the feeling of songwriting. And so I hope to bounce back and do something that's actually positive with the Bay City Rollers instead of dealing with things that have never happened and talking about things that no one has any evidence of. If the evidence comes up, fine. I don't even think I'll address it then. It's all between you. Like, it's none of my business. So I don't post it on Facebook and everything all the time. But whatever, people will continue to. But yeah, I'd like to focus on the more positive things. I really enjoyed the stuff we've done on the radio show, and I'm so happy that it all gets kept. And I hope that, it's like with my first video, I was happy when I got one person saying, thanks, I loved the band, I'm glad you stood up for them. That would have been enough. But I got tons of people that were so happy that the band was getting a fair shake for a change, right? And if one person listens to a thing about Ian Mitchell's music or something and really enjoys it, that's enough. It's about getting the music out there, because I know when you get all this crap to the side, when you get the Bay City Rollers music out there into the hands of even my son's friends who are all now heading into their 20s, they appreciate it. Which shocked me, but right. But I mentioned Fleetwood Mac to my son. He's like, you don't listen to them, do you? And I was like, that's an interesting response. I said, no, I don't listen to Fleetwood Mac. I heard enough of that in the 70s. He's like, thank God. Oh my God, I can't stand it. Is that not a weird change? Remember how the Bay City Rollers were treated in the 70s and Fleetwood Mac were put on a pedestal, right? But I do believe that Fleetwood Mac are great songwriters. It's just not for me. That's all. I'm not heading back down that bashing road. So anyway, that's where I am. I'm focusing on the positive, and I've got so many things to accomplish over the next year, and I don't have to worry about anything. So I don't know why I'm worrying. Like I was personally concerned about certain members of the Bay City Rollers. How the hell is that my business, right? They're like 10 to 15 to 20 years my senior, you know? Like, it's silly. But we all get dragged into all this stuff. But anyway, I'm heading back into the positive realm where I just want to talk about how great their music is. So if I do suddenly get dragged into something again, there'll probably be hell to pay. So anyway, I hope everyone else can focus on the positivity. And, there's a few events coming up. I disagree with one group of people throwing an event, but who cares? Have fun. Hopefully they'll have fun and everyone will report back that they had a good time. And all the other events, everyone have a good time, and everyone going to see Woody. I see sometimes people are like, oh no, you can't go see Woody. Yes, you can. Anyone can go see Woody if they want to. Why would you stand in the way of someone meeting someone that maybe is like an idol to them? You know? So that's my opinion. Anyway, yes, if you got this far, thanks for listening. But that will explain the changes that are coming up. And I'm going to reorganize all my YouTube, and there will just be a channel. It's probably going to take over my main channel. Is Bay City Rollers related stuff, and everything else I want to move out. Because I know no one wants my political rants on here. I've already moved that out, started moving that out. Have a good day. Thanks for all the people that wrote very supportive messages, not about me, but about the band. They deserve it after all the hard work and pain that everyone went through. Have a good day.